So I had to come up live again. How are you doing? Join us here live. So today we're talking about how to overcome resentment in your relationship. Let's first start with defining what is resentment. Resentment is this little, you or your partner is like snapping a little bit. Resentment is when your partner does something silly and you, instead of understanding him, you just roll your eyes. Resentment is when you prefer to talk to a stranger than to your partner. No matter if you're married, boyfriend, girlfriend, in a long-term relationship, resentment is when you feel stuck with your partner. Resentment is where you have like this slight negative gut feeling of, oh, resentment is when you deeply want love, but there's something in between. And as you guys know, I've been working for so long as a dating coach, right? Like I've been helping women all over the world to find their dream husband, their dream relationship. And then I've been also guiding quite many couples and women in relationships. And we had to work through these topics as well, through resentment. And let me share with you one more example. By the way, sorry, my voice, it's a bit rough because I've been a little bit sick, but I can't wait another day longer to come on here live. But let me take a little sip. So one of my clients, she wanted, she really wanted to kind of like marry her boyfriend, and then I gave her the steps how to inspire him. And the step basically was, I can already tell you here, was to tell him that, first of all, and secondly, to give him a choice that if you don't want to marry, then we're just not a good match. And she was like, you know what, like, okay, I can hint a little bit, but maybe I wait. Maybe if he knows me for a couple of years, if we live together, he will change his mind. And I told her, are you really okay with it? Or are you feeling resentful about it? And again, you can apply this concept with all the other topics. It also applies for men. When a man wants, one of my clients, he's a guy, he wants children and his partner doesn't. And there's like this deep resentfulness. It also shows up like lack of kindness, lack of sexual attraction, intimacy. Like resentment is such a sneaky snake. You have to be an expert to find it. It's difficult to find it. But okay, so let's come back to this one example of my client. But again, you can apply it to all life areas. And I was like, are you okay with that? Are you okay with waiting for him? Be honest. What is your truth? So when I work with my clients, we are not going into belief. I can immediately spot what is the truth, that true intuition, and when is her fear speaking. And her fear was saying, actually, I'm afraid he will leave me, and I'm afraid I will never find a guy like him. He was a millionaire. So, and I'm afraid I'm getting old. No, I'm afraid. And her head was speaking that her brain was saying, I'm already old, like he's the best guy I've ever dated, blah, 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 blah. And then I was like, and I do this with my clients often, where we really find your truth, your intuitive truth. And I was like, let's find it together. So I took her into this state of finding the truth of this deep subconscious state of really being grounded, to remove all the noise. Okay, let's put the fear aside. Let's put the brain aside. What is your truth? And she said, no, I'm not okay. I am not okay waiting for him. And then I told her, listen, darling, you're gonna feel resentful as F. You're gonna feel resentful, and this resentment is going to destroy the love, the connection, the commitment, the passion in this relationship, anyways. Resentment is like a slow poison. You don't necessarily die immediately, you don't even notice. Slowly, you get sicker and more tired, and then you die. It's a metaphor for the relationship. Obviously, you don't die, but resentment is the slow poison. And if you like, say hi in the comments, and but keep the comments towards the topic. So let me know if you agree, if this is something that happened to you, where you deeply wanted something, you just had like this nudge, but you were like, no, I don't want to lose the relationship. He's the best thing that could ever happen to me. And I don't want to speak up, and resentment build up. And for some people, it's like a weird look. And so for some people, it's literally becoming snappy. Yeah. Let me know in the comments if you ever experienced that yourself, or if your partner was out of nowhere just resentful. Yeah, I also had clients, for example, they've been able to attract like a boyfriend or a husband who would provide, but the guy didn't want to do that. He just didn't. He only did it because he was desperate that he would never get a beautiful woman like that, or he would always be alone, and vice versa. Women going into relationships agreeing to cooking while they didn't want to do this. They wanted to take takeout every single day because they couldn't speak that truth. And if you don't speak the truth in your relationship, it will become resentment, and it slow poisons it anyways. Now the tricky question is, how do you know your truth? There are so many voices in your head. And the thing is, I've been actually studying that since 10 years. How to remove like the thinker voices, like the narrator voice in my head who always comments on everything. How to see true beliefs if it's a limiting belief. For example, what did I have? I had this limiting belief that smart men who are educated are going to look not handsome. And I was like, where's this belief coming from? I can either have someone who is good looking or smart or committed. Like, I'm changing that belief. So I've studied that work for so long, and when you work with me, I'm able to guide you through that process to kind of remove all of that noise of fears in between, of limiting beliefs, of the narrator in your head. 1 second. My voice is still coming back. But I can't even believe it. I had clients, 90% of my clients coming from other big name, known, huge following coaches, and they got some advice from them, but it wasn't their truth. I know that sometimes coaching is a term where someone tells you what to do. Okay, if you want to lose weight, then I don't know, go to gym 3 times per week. But sometimes this is not it. Yeah. So I work with my clients finding your truth. What is it that you want? You don't have to want what someone else's wants, but you have to know your truth, because this is the only way where you don't feel resentful, where you can live a life that is fulfilling, starting from your career, from your partner, from every single thing. Okay. Sorry. Mm. But I'm not giving up. I'm enjoying it way too much to be here. But maybe I will just lower my voice to tune up the audio to still hear me. Okay. So when we work together, you get to find your truth and you can reach out for a free love audit call. If you're interested, talking to me helping you already find what is it that you want, because it can be so confusing. And a lot of my clients are in this state of just confusion because there's this one voice saying, no, I can't leave him, or I can't set my boundary, I can't speak up what I want because he will leave me. This one voice is saying, oh, he's the best thing that could ever happen to me. This one voice is saying, why do I even bother if I'm married, or whatever you want, kids, um, intimacy, spicy intimacy, whatever is on your list. And then there's this thought, why do I even bother? I should be already happy what I have. I should be content. We have a good life. Why would I even want like this like spicy bedroom experience? Why would I even want him to watch less TV? And it goes vice versa. For you as a man, you can also be like, oh, why do I even want us to spend more time together or whatever you want? No, it comes up as distance, resentment, and you start enjoying talking to a stranger more than your own partner, husband, boyfriend, fiance. And then you know what's going to happen. Distance, slow poisoning, sooner or later, breakup. Latest in 7 years. 7 years. I give a relationship that is full of resentment maximum 7 years. And it's just a time waste. And why would you do this to yourself? And I know why. It's a rhetorical question because there are so many voices in your head that confuse you. Voices, and sometimes it's even logical voices of, well, I don't know, we have intimacy, you know what I mean, once a week. Why do I even want more? Well, he's already committed to me. Why do I even want more? Well, kids are overrated. I can just get a dog. Why do I even want that? You can even logically convince you to not want something, but your truth is always going to be there and it's always going to be bugging you and it's always going to want to come up. And yes, sometimes you're also feeling resentful because your beliefs, your family, your society put something in your head and you literally believe it and it's not your truth. That's why the whole thing is so freaking confusing until you really, really know the work. And for me personally, relationships is something that I was so bad at, but it was like my biggest desire to have like a loving, fulfilling, happy relationship. That's why I even from myself went into this depth of solving all of these problems. And later, as it became my passion and career to help you all, I've seen all of these patterns in my clients. So I just have to bring it here for you. So again, you can also be resentful because you have a limiting belief. Like, for example, one couple that I work with, he was telling me that I feel resentful because she doesn't cook for me. And I was like, okay, let's find your truth. Let's find your truth. And then I found out that it wasn't even his truth. Like, he doesn't necessarily need cooking. What he needed was love. And his mother was always cooking for him. So he kind of like attached love to cooking. But what he wanted to feel cared. He wanted to feel loved. But the woman, she was an entrepreneur. She was a baddie. She could, like, 1 hour of her work would replace a whole month of Uber Eats, or even like half month of restaurant going, or even like half month of hiring like a chef. It didn't make any sense for her to stand in the kitchen and cook for like 2 hours a day. Like one of her hour in her own career replaced like a chef. Like it just didn't make sense for her at all. Plus he himself had enough money to kind of like pay for that. So it just didn't make sense to make her cook, right? And we found his truth, and his truth was that I just craved to be cared for and loved. And then we found ways, okay, how else will you feel loved? Maybe a tea instead of like a whole big meal, maybe a walk together, maybe watching something together. And then they came to an agreement. So you see, it's not always the truth that he wanted her to cook. It was something else underneath. And we have to really like open it up and see, okay, what's going on. That's why I love one-on-one work. You know, like you get to learn from courses, you get to learn from videos like here, the knowledge, but you will have to learn that, and sooner or later you also should. But like when you have an expert who can guide you already, you don't have to waste another year or two of being confused. What is my truth? Is this my truth, or is there something underneath? Like with the example of my client who wanted that cooking, you know. Whew. So I'm just so passionate about this, and if you desire my instant support, you can reach out for a free love audit call and immediately solve the issues that you are having, or maybe allow those desires, those nudges to come up and fulfill them. And another reason why a lot of couples have resentment, again, my voice has to be a bit lower, so tune up the audio. Sorry for that. It's just, I'm just not fully there yet. So another reason is because, yes, couples get resentful, and then guess what happens? Instead of this guy telling my client, you know, I really want love, I really want to feel cared, what does he start? Feeling resentful, thinking, oh, maybe I should have married someone else. Oh, maybe she is like just not loving me. And then guess what happens? He doesn't talk with love. He doesn't look at her with love. He doesn't want to have intimacy. He feels deeply unloved. And then she starts having the resentment. Why is he not loving me? Why is he not looking at me with kindness? Why doesn't he feel attracted to me? It's a whole down spiral. Very sad. Very sad. But it's solvable. Yeah, and once you learn those skills of like finding your truth, finding what is underneath, what are the beliefs, like you're set for life. You can have a relationship with anybody and be happy. And if something is really a deal breaker and it's your truth, like a deal breaker would be one person wants kids, one person doesn't, then at least you know. At least you are self-aware and you can make a decision of, okay, I either really have to let it go, or it's my truth. I have to set you free, and it's going to be so difficult, but this is my truth. And another point why couples don't communicate is because, I don't know why, but this is such a human nature. It's like when we are with someone, women and men, we often believe that just like this is the best person, like this is the only person, the best person for me, and like I could never find someone better and someone else. And I'm just going to tell you that this is your attachment hormone. You know, oxytocin, the attachment hormone. You're going to feel that with every single person you're intimate with, as a woman and also as a man. The attachment hormone also comes through talking, through loving, giving effort as a woman and as a man, right? Like it even happened with me and a cat. I had to take care of a cat, which I really didn't like, for 2 weeks. I had to give her food, I have to clean her. She had like some bugs on her, like I had to clean her. I was like, I don't know what happened. Since then, I liked this cat. Like I'm just so happy to see her because, you know, my effort made me fall in love. So that's another point. It's like your brain's gonna start telling you, oh, this is the only person for me. I'm gonna be forever alone. Because you have this bond and this attachment. It is sacred. And that's why I always tell you guys, don't start a relationship where there are incompatibilities. Of course, sometimes we don't know now, it comes out later. But if you already know now, and you are like, you know what, I'm alone at home, maybe I just hang out with this person because it makes me feel good in the moment, and I don't have to be alone. It's a short term solution, but the resentment is coming. And it's exactly what one of my clients is going through as a guy. He just doesn't want to be alone, but he deeply wants kids. And now he's dating a woman who does not want kids. And I'm telling him, you're still in the beginning. Resentment is coming. You know your truth. You know you want kids. I know you don't want to be alone. I know she is good looking and you like her. But what are your non-negotiable boundaries? What is your love list? And again, sometimes we will not know 100%, but oftentimes we do. And also this love list and all of the guidance how to date from A to Z is in my course How to Date a Millionaire. So this course is for women. I don't have a course for men yet. If you guys are interested, you can also reach out to me, but this course is for women. A to Z, how to date, how to filter, how to communicate, how to inspire a masculine man as a feminine woman to want to be with you and to want to propose. Because our culture also teaches as women to be empowered, which is amazing, to be the go-getter ones, but in career it's perfect, but in relationships we need like a little bit different dynamic. So if you're a woman who wants to date a compatible, amazing man, go get that course, How to Date a Millionaire. The link is in the description box. Okay, and if you want to talk to me directly, you can reach out for a free love audit call. Yeah, but that's why when you are single, it's just so important you already write down your non-negotiables, and you don't go into a relationship because you're desperate. And I get it, we are all lonely when we are single, but then you have to go out with friends. You have to make friends. You have to go out with them. Like I remember when I was single, I tried to do a lot of sleepovers with like family houses, friends, because it just, it just keeps you having connection with other people. It doesn't have to be like, it should be not be a sexual connection, and you just feel so good and you can make a good choice. And I see this honestly more in guys than women, just going for someone that isn't a good match just because they haven't been in a relationship for a long time. But guys don't do it, and women also don't do it. And women, watch out for that. When a guy tells you, yeah, sure, you don't ever have to do anything in the house. Sure, you don't have to pay a penny. Wait a couple weeks, wait a couple months. Let him calm down his euphoria and tell you his truth. Because a lot of men, unfortunately, and this is not an accuse, it's just an observation, will tell you in the beginning, yo, whatever you want, sweetheart, we are going for that. So wait a couple weeks, wait a couple months. He's gonna tell you his truth. What works for him, what doesn't. Because this is also another reason why so many times people come together, they have intimacy, it's like perfect, and then month 3 to 6 hits. It's like, who are you? A completely different person. Suddenly your truth comes up. Yeah. So that's why I keep saying wait with intimacy, wait with commitment until you know somebody for 6 months. I know you think it's like too long, but trust me, it's worth it. Unless you want to put yourself through a breakup and grief, And through all of this chaos, where you later feel like, I don't want to tell my truth because I'm already attached to this person and we already live together and we already love each other, and I'm just not going to tell my truth because, you know, I've been lying to myself all the time and now it comes up and I have resentment. I know. I'm sorry, but there is no good solution to that. You're either going to destroy your relationship with lying to yourself and resentment, or you're going to tell the truth. And then when you tell the truth, either there is a solution, oftentimes there is, or there isn't. Sometimes there's a solution, sometimes there isn't. Like for something like, mm, I remember one of my clients, she was so talkative. Like she just loved talking. She just wanted debates and conversations and all of these things. And her partner was like, just wanted to come from work and just chill. She just didn't like to talk so much. And it goes both sides, right? And then she felt so resentful. And then we worked together. And then she was like, but I just need to talk. I need to debate. Like I have this need and he doesn't give it to me. And then I was like, can we find a solution? Can you find outside this relationship friends, colleagues that you can talk to every day? And then she started video calling one of her best friends every day, like talking about these deep topics. She started going to like meetups, events where these topics were present, like deep inner work discussions. And then she was fine. The relationship didn't have to go apart. But if she didn't find the truth, she would suffocate with silence of like, I just want to debate, I just want to talk, and this guy is just not talking at all. And again, I'm not saying something is right or wrong. It was just a need that she hasn't had fulfilled. Yeah. Just like, I think you get my point. If those things aren't looked into deeper, and most people don't look deeper, unfortunately, they either live in a marriage or in a relationship that is deeply cold, unfulfilling, not loving, or they stay in a marriage where there's so much resentment that people snap at each other, keep accusing each other, and there are just fights, or they just break up. But there is something in between. And if you want to have a healthy, fulfilling, long-term relationship, you can't skip it. I'm sorry. You will have to go through the process of removing the brain's narrator of just like saying, oh, this is a nice car. Oh, this is a green bottle I'm seeing here. Oh, the wall is white. The narrator who is just like speaking, they will have to remove the beliefs of limiting beliefs. Oh, my mother said that people from another culture are bad, so it's not good for me. Or the limiting belief of, mm, I don't know, like younger men or younger women are immature. That's not true. There are so many young people who are so mature. I'm I was very, very mature at a very young age. So you see, like removing those beliefs, removing the fears, being able to speak up, finding a solution. 99% of the times there is a solution, and 1% when there's like a really big thing, still not continuing a relationship that is about to hit against the wall and be destroyed anyways, but be like, you know what? Let's talk. We have a problem here. You want kids, I don't. What do we do? Oh, so yeah, if you have that, if you have resentment or your partner has resentment, and you have to look deeper, and sometimes, as I mentioned, it isn't obvious. It's like a slow poison you can't notice. It's like little doses every day, but then you notice it. Little doses. Doses of being more interested in someone else than your partner. Doses of not feeling like having sexual intimacy. Doses of feeling like wanting to watch something rather than talk to him or her. Little doses of being a bit snappy. little, and again, sometimes it also goes into being toxic, but then most people do separate, right? But like those little doses of resentment, they are a guarantee of failure in your relationship, of breakup. And even if you don't break up, you're gonna suffer. You're gonna feel so miserable that it's like, why would you put yourself through that? You deserve a happy relationship. You deserve to be loved. You deserve to be fulfilled, and your partner deserves the same. You deserve that so much. And and you get to have that. I've been guiding so many couples in the last years into that area where they've been able to remove all the resent. First of all, dating in an appropriate way where both people really check what is my non-negotiable. Are we a match even? People oversee huge incompatibilities like kids, sometimes religious disbalance, sometimes even diets where sometimes it doesn't matter if someone is vegetarian and meat eater, but sometimes it does because they just like don't like the meat and the meat eater is like annoyed with the veggies. So big things are overseen because in the beginning it's like this rush of hormones, of intimacy, sorry, English isn't my first language, so I'm gonna try this word, infatuation. You know what I mean if you are an English speaker. It's like this high feeling of like, oh, it feels so good. Yeah, I know the first few months, like the hormones take over. That's why I keep telling you, wait until you have intimacy for 6 months. Because your hormones are gonna be like, I don't care about anything. He's the one. And secondly, really have your love list ready. What is important for you? What is important in your partner? And be honest to yourself and believe that you can have it all. And sometimes you can't have it all, just to be clear with you. But if you're not a match of that, it's not because it doesn't exist. It is if you are not a match of that. Let me give you an example. If a woman wants to have a top 1% man who is also masculine and who is also very muscular, yeah, he has like big muscles, like working out, those men exist. But if you as a woman are not into sports, very much overweight, again, it's not a judgment, it's just that it's not a match. Your partner will not want, like this guy who's like super muscular, will not want to be with someone who doesn't share his lifestyle. It's just not gonna be working out, and vice versa. If you're a guy and you want like woman who is slim, who has like a nice shape, who's working out, but you yourself eating potato chips every single night, you didn't see the gym since 10 years, and you are like having like a big, huge belly, again, no judgment for you, but don't look for the woman who is working out. Find someone who is a match for you. Those people exist, and but you have to be a match for that. You know what I mean? So that's another thing I've seen, but that's another topic, guys. I don't even know what to talk. Like, I just don't get it. Like, for me, it's common sense to not be entitled and expect something that you're not a match of. But so many people do that. Like, like this example of fitness. And sometimes you don't have to be like a perfect match, right? Like, a lot of the times, women tell me, but like, if I want to be with a million, do I have to have a million myself? No, but you have to have a millionaire mindset that you need to be a match. Remember, guys, I was telling you that when I didn't even desire to be with a millionaire. I wanted to be a millionaire, so I worked on my millionaire mindset, and then just attracted millionaires everywhere. They were like, we just love to hang out with you because your mindset is just so uplifting, and you just see us as humans, not like some kind of crazy people. For you, it's like normal to have these kind of luxuries. Yeah, because I changed my mindset. So you see, it's not always that You have to be like perfect. So let me give an example. For me, health is very important. That's my value, not necessarily even beauty. For me, health is important. So I don't overwork. I used to. I don't overwork out. I work out to the limit where my hormones don't get stressed, that my joints can take. I did struggle with like some joint inflammation, all of these things. So I don't work out. For me, health. Work out until it feels good. Um, Eat healthy foods. And if someone does that, that's a perfect match for me. Even if like objectively someone would say, but you just have like a nice shape and figure. But if my partner is healthy, works out for health, eats healthy, that is my match. My match isn't the guy that has like big muscles but destroying his joints to get them, who is putting testosterone in himself and eating really unhealthy food to get this physique. So, and again, there's no judgment. Some people do that. I did that when I was younger. I was hurting my joints. I was so often at the orthopedic doctor because like I would just like hurt myself all the time and overwork out like crazy, have crazy diets. Like that was not healthy. I screwed up my hormones. My cortisol was way too high. Like it was just not healthy. Yeah. So I used to be like that. So I get it. But I grew up, I changed. For me, this is my mature version. Other people can do what they want. But you see that it's not always the objective, because objectively I could be a match still now because I have a huge past of really like bodybuilding, working out. Um, I could be a match to a guy who is doing that, but it's no longer my match. Yeah. So don't let yourself be blinded by just like money in the account, the physique, the you know, like the body fat or whatever. These are not indicators of a match. Indicators of a match in a relationship are values, 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 mindset. So that's also something I want you to work through. And if we work together, we would work through that too. What are your values? And what kind of person is a match to that? Okay. So, yeah. Anyways, going back to this point, and we're going to end soon here, is that when you date in a way that you have your non-negotiables, you know what are your values? What do you value? I value health. And if you have a little bit extra chubbiness, I don't mind. As long as you take care of your health, we are a match. So that's an example. What else do you value? Do you value? I value, for example, freedom. I value freedom in money over anything. I would much rather have 100K than 2 million where I'm like not free. I much rather have 100K and traveling the world. Actually, I was traveling the world in the last year and being free and having like a free schedule than a couple million. This is just my personal value. And of course, I'm gonna have freedom and those couple millions. I'm getting there. But like be clear, what are your values? What is your value? And then when you're dating, you're gonna find someone who is a good match. And I would love to guide you on this journey. Like it's just my pleasure. I'm an expert in that. I've been working in this area full time since 6 years, guided so many people into compatible relationships, and also guided couples into harmony, happiness, um, fulfillment in the relationship. So if you think I'm your cup of tea, please reach out for a free love audit call because I can help you and I would love to do that. Yeah. No matter if you are a woman, a man, if you're single, engaged, or married, you are welcome to reach out to me for a free love audit call. Yeah. And then when you find someone who is compatible, and then you learn those skills of communication, you learn those skills of what is your truth? You also should learn this even before when you are dating, so that you know what is your truth, what you want. Because that's the worst thing. I tell people, find what are your non-negotiables, and then they say, my non-negotiable is this and this and this. Although it's just their brain telling them that I want a woman who cooks for me. Um, no, you want a woman who has an open heart and loves you. So they put kind of like things on their love list which are not fully their truth. It's just like we have to really go deep to find what is your non-negotiables, okay? And if this is really what counts for you. And again, some people want someone who cooks, that's fine. But in this one example, this guy wanted someone who, yeah, who loves them. And same with a lot of women. A lot of women say, I want a millionaire. And then I talk with them deeper and I'm like, what if the millionaire doesn't provides for you, but he doesn't love you? No, 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 no. I want a millionaire who provides out of his love, like not out of duty, but out of his love. Ah, now we're getting closer to your truth. But can I have it all? Then the accountability part comes. Yes, you get to have it all. Let's make you a match to whatever you want. Okay. And then people come together, couples come together, people come together, and then we have to still work on the relationship, especially maybe a year or so, to really clean up all the little bickering, resentment, miscommunication, triggers come up in the first year of a relationship too. That's another point. A lot of triggers come up, which isn't your truth. You know what triggers are? Triggers are, this is a good example. When I was a kid, my family, when I came from home, I grew up with uncle, aunt, with foster parents for a long time. I come from my school, and they told me, I wanted to tell them how my school was, and they were like, oh, I'm just watching something, can you just walk away? And TV, someone ignoring me and watching TV or watching phone becomes such a trigger for me, to the point where later I was like, my truth is I want a man who doesn't watch TV and who doesn't have a phone. Like, no, that is not your truth, girl. That is just your trigger. And like, find that, right? Find that. I had to become my own expert and hire so many experts to find that this is not my non-negotiable boundary. It's a trigger. And then I was able to communicate that with my partner, and I was able to say, listen, I have this deep trigger from my childhood that I'm being ignored. I'm being I'm not important. I'm not being listened to. And it makes me either want to chase you more or just destroy this TV. And then I had to communicate what I need is, even if you watch TV, if you could for like a minute or two when I come home, to just hug me, to just let me speak and to hear me out. That would just soothe this little child in me who got ignored every time she came from school because of TV. Would you be able to do that? And he said, yes, of course, of course. I can take a little break, it's okay. Solved. No resentment, no drama needed, no false trigger disguised as this is my true and boundary, you can't watch TV. No, it was just a trigger that I had that I was able to solve by knowing this work. That's why I'm just so obsessed with this work. I love this work, and I wish for you to have a happy, healthy relationship that's long-term, fulfilling, right? And just like I was sharing, a lot of the times women say, oh, I want a millionaire man, but then we have to go deeper. What exactly you want in him? There's nothing right or wrong, but what exactly you want? What exactly is important for you? And for some women, it will be this area of, I just want to be taken care of. I just want to be loved. Okay, good. And for someone, it's going to be like, I just want abundance. Okay, interesting. So we really go deep and take all of these flavors because they are important. Because you could get a millionaire, you could date a millionaire, and then he doesn't have love, and that's not okay for you. You know what I mean? So like all of these things matter during dating and during the relationship later. It matters so much too, and it just breaks my heart seeing amazing couples fight, being mean to each other, resent each other, do things to each other because they don't know how to communicate. They don't know to see, is it a trigger that I'm yelling at him because he's watching TV? Or is it my truth? It's so confusing. It's so confusing. And for me, I have been working with, as a coach even, by the way, I have been working with couples and clients in relationships since years. But even for me, I can only bring certain topics to the public and also like publicly be like, okay, work with me when I feel like I have like 100%, more than 100%, 500% PhD level, deep knowledge and expertise in that. Only then I can, with confidence, say, I have the embodiment through my own life. I have the embodiment through many clients I've guided, and I can help you too. And I can help you in your relationship if resentment comes up, if there are stuff that are here. So reach out for a free love audit call if you're tired of being resentful, taking resentment, disguised of lack of love or whatever that is. And let's make your relationship juicy, fluent, fulfilling, happy, passionate again. Because life is too short to be either lonely or to be in a relationship that isn't fulfilling, stuck because you don't want to be lonely. Like, no, we're not doing that anymore. You get to be with your dream partner. Is it a woman or a man? You get to be with your dream partner who is compatible, and you get to have a beautiful relationship where it's not like it's getting more resentful over time and more poison and more toxic. No, it's like, think about this tree. You get to be in a relationship where instead of this tree not getting enough fuel and water and nutrients and getting smaller and smaller and smaller and drier and drier and drier until it dies, you're gonna have a relationship where we put exactly the right nutrients, the right soil, the right water, and the tree is getting bigger, bigger, more robust, more strong, more love in it, more fulfilling, more trust. And I know there are not many models of that in this world. Like, not many, because not many people know this knowledge yet. It's actually like a new, our generation is the generation that learns about those coaching concepts, self-development concepts, but we get to be the one that has those beautiful, strong relationships where two people don't stay together because of finances or because of fear, but because they want to be together and they grow stronger and more solid. And there is just like this deep trust and this deep love and fulfillment. And trust me, intimacy, where there is trust, where there is fulfillment, where there's friendship, where there's no resentment, no anger, pure love, you can't even imagine how that feels. Like emotional intimacy, physical intimacy. I'm just so grateful that I am able to experience this in my lifetime. Like, I don't know if there's anything else as fulfilling as a healthy, intimate relationship. And if you ask me, I had all of the problems, intimacy issues, not being able to be vulnerable, being traumatized from toxic surroundings, communication issues. Like, I had everything you can imagine. I'm not going to go into depth here, but I had all the problems, and I've been able to turn it around. So for sure, you. Same with so many of my clients. They had so many problems, issues in their relationship. They've been able to turn everything around within a couple months, or sometimes years. It took longer time, and boom, they are glowing and flying right now, and their relationship becomes stronger. And healthy relationships are honestly one of, especially for women, but for men too, one of the biggest indicator for success, for going into the top 1% world of beauty, money, of health. This is important. This is one of the biggest reasons why so many people are successful. A lot of people who are successful, even if they don't have healthy relationships, they do it as a trauma response. I'm not saying everybody, I'm just saying many. Okay, so just if someone feels excluded, maybe there are people who are not like this, but I'm just sharing that many people who actually don't have healthy relationships, who are very lonely, they just work a lot or work out a lot, which I did too in the past, to distract from loneliness, to distract from feeling unfulfilled, to distract from feeling not good enough, feeling empty. Then the others start eating. They start having addictions. It gives them happiness and fulfillment and dopamine. And for some people, the addiction is food. I've been there too. And I'm telling you, I've been everywhere that you can imagine. The addiction can be workout. I've been there too. I worked out so much, I keep hurting myself. I'm just grateful I don't have any major injury, but I have a couple back injuries, toes, joints. Like, I've been obsessed with workout because I was trying to fill that emptiness, the emptiness of having no love. I grew up in a loveless household. I did not know what it feels to be loved, accepted, to have an intimate relationship. All I knew was either pure ignorance, being ignored, just like the maximum talking of, okay, what will be there for dinner? Or toxicity of criticism, accusing, yelling. Like, I didn't have that self-love and the love from with others, the fulfillment. So I tried to fill it with food. I tried to fill it with workouts, with working out, and these were all my false lovers. And then I worked on my relationships, the relationship with myself, the relationship with others, intimate relationships, and I'm just so grateful. I'm just so grateful because now the success, the money that I'm earning, the money that I'm receiving, the health I'm having, everything that I'm doing, it's like, it's not there to fill the gap. I'm fulfilled. I'm happy. It's there to, like, it's there as a cherry on top, first of all, and it feels sustainable. But I think I'm going to make another video about that because, yeah, let's do another video about that topic, that if you are filling your emptiness with work or with workout or whatever, with food, there are negative consequences to that. And a lot of that time is even more emptiness and burnout, and it's just not sustainable. So yeah, a healthy relationship is even your key to sustainable success in career, health, fitness, other relationships. Like, it's just so important. So no matter if you work on this with me or with someone else, don't take it for granted. It is an important topic because we are humans and we need a tribe. We need love. We need that fulfillment. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments if you resonate, if it happened to you where the relationship just starts being a little bit bitter and you just didn't know why? Do you think it could have been because of resentment? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Also, share with me either in the comments or you can send me an email what topics you want to hear from me. Yeah, share this with me. Then, if you are a woman and you are dating right now, check out my courses. I have a lot of amazing courses to guide you into dating a compatible, loving man. And if you want to work with me privately, either as a woman, man, couple, you want to find your clarity, your truth, and you want to be guided into finding a compatible partner, or maybe you're already in a relationship and you want to feel happy, you want this tree to grow bigger and stronger and with more love, and if you feel a little bit stuck, reach out for a free love audit call. It's completely free, and after that, you can still say, okay, I want to work with you or not. Um, so reach out to me and give this video a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and send it to anybody that might need to hear it, that might be in a situation where they have issues and there might be resentment. Just like one of my friends told me that they don't have any intimacy and he is just like working. And I can clearly see that the reason they don't have intimacy and he's just stuffing himself with work 80 hours per week is because he deeply wants kids and his wife doesn't, and he just doesn't speak up. Yeah, so if you have a friend like that, maybe send him or her this video for anyone that might need it. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you being here, and I see you in the next one.